On this episode of the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. It's one of my favorite Q&A episodes we've ever done. I think you're going to love it. Please download it and subscribe to the podcast. Rate it 5 stars and write us a good review. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search Oklahoma Breakdown on any of those, and you'll find us. All right, our man Michael Hosty will kick this thing off. It's time for the Oklahoma Breakdown. It's a beautiful Wednesday, June 5th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there's so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options in the month of June, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, simply the best. Ted, we love the Q&A episodes.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's see what the listeners have for us this time.
We'd like to work a couple of these in June and July when things are a little slower on the OU football front, and it just leads to some fun conversations. So let's dive in. And this first one is going to lead to a lot of discussion, and I'm excited. First question comes from Chris Peterson. He asks, who's on your all Sooner D line and O line from 2000 until now?
Oh man.
Buckle up, buddy. I'm making you go first. You go D line first. And remember,
Oh my
since
gosh.
2000, so you can't just say, give me all the Selman brothers. That's it.
Right.
You can't
Doesn't
take the
work
easy
this
way
time.
out.
Dang it. Well, I think you got to go with Tommy and Jeremy McCoy have to be on the list right out of the gate.
I think those are the two absolute no-brainers.
Mm-hmm.
No, high first-round draft picks, incredibly productive in college, great leaders, like everything you want in a defensive lineman, just an absolute nightmare to block.
How how do we structure this thing? Is it two interior guys and two defensive ends?
Ooh.
Like, I don't.
Are we going old school 3-4 defense, like head up nose,
I don't
4
know.
eyes or 4 techniques, some edge guys? We can do whatever you want.
Well, if I'm doing a 4-man front, which is what I like, I would do Tommy, Gerald, McCoy. If I'm going defensive ends, Dan Cody right out of the gate. Man. See, Corey Callens was a great defensive end. He was on the 2000 national championship team. He was really, really good. Then you got to get into like, where would you classify Eric Stryker? Because
I would put him as, I mean, he was an edge guy. He was an edge guy, and edge guys, in the way that I view it, edge guys are defensive linemen. You've got,
yeah.
I break it into 2 categories: interior defensive linemen and then edge guys. So if you're looking at a 4-man front, or hell, let's jump into Bear and have 5 guys.
Yeah.
I think you got to have, 3 interior guys and at least 2 edge guys, or maybe you kick one of the edge guys into a 3 technique if you feel comfortable with that. That's how I view it.
Well,
and I would say Stryker was an edge guy. That's where he lined up every snap.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then if that's the case, my favorite defense is Bear, right? So I'm going Dvorak at nose. I mean, and this is a true Bear defense. Give me Dvorak at nose. Give me Tommy and Gerald McCoy. Give me DC on the strong side, and give me Eric Stryker on the backside.
Man, that's hard to argue with. One thing, when you think about Man, there's been so many great players at Oklahoma. When you think about, we really haven't had a ton of like premium edge guys,
I know. Yeah.
which makes it like Dan Cody is the highest picked edge guy we've had since 2000. I'm pretty sure he was a second rounder.
Yeah.
We haven't had a first round pick at edge, have we?
I don't think so.
I mean, Ronnie Perkins was a third rounder. Geno Grissom was a third rounder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frank Alexander was a fourth rounder. Yeah, so
Obo, he went late too, right? And
he was a fifth rounder.
yeah, Obo should have like, if that was the timing thing, I, Obo's he's not a fifth round pick. That's crazy.
I
I
I'm
mean,
with you.
he should have like walked across the stage at the combine, or whatever. It's like, whenever you have an auction and there's like a reserve on the auction, it's like, no one can take this guy unless you take him higher than the third round.
It is crazy that he went in the fifth round. He's
Yeah.
put together a really nice career. And the pass rushing element for him, I think it gets him on my list.
Yeah.
The, in that, remember that Texas performance where
Yep.
he was just all over the field. Like that has stuck in my mind for so long. Like the effort he played with in that game. And he's just, when you compare him and Striker, he's a bigger guy.
And there's like, you want like an intimidation factor too, whenever, you got your defensive line standing there. And
Well, then maybe you go with Geno because Geno was carved out of
yeah,
granite.
yeah, that was a big
I
dude
mean, but
too.
I think Obo was, I mean, it is a more natural pass rusher. You got to have, you want a little pass rush.
Yeah.
You've got the crazy taken care of with Dan Cody on the other side.
Right.
I
Right.
would say if you're just jumping into true bear defense, you may want to put Jordan Phillips at that head up nose spot.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a guy that at size, athleticism, he didn't have, he doesn't have the crazy that Dusty has. Like, let's be real. But he's also been a better pro than he was a college player because he's been healthier as an NFL player than he was in college. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard. Like Dusty was such a good college player until the injuries started really piling up on him.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like Dusty is, I Dusty would have been a three technique, like the linchpin of a defensive line everywhere else except for with Tommy. And so Dusty ended up being a nose. Like, I don't even know, like Dusty's like, he's fast twitch, he can run. Like, he's not like what you would think of a traditional just gigantic nose guard. Like, he had to really try and get up to weight to be 300 pounds is like a constant battle for him. So he, like, I would, if I were playing him, I'd play him as a three technique, and get like a bigger anchor guy. Like Ryan Fisher was an unbelievable nose guard in 2000. Couldn't move the guy at all. So,
Out of
man,
Tommy, Gerald, and Dusty, if you're jumping into bear defense, it may sound crazy. I think I put Gerald at the head up no spot.
probably. I think he's like naturally the biggest of the three.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Yep.
Saw it firsthand. Guy ruined my freshman year. Made me
What
sad
do you
every single.
what did he play at? Did he play at like 315 or
Yeah,
something?
but he, and also you look at his lower half. Not saying that Dusty and Tommy didn't have really strong lower halves. You just, all you got to do is look at Gerald's backside and know that out of those three guys, you're probably, if you got to pick a guy to take on more double teams there at the head up no spot, you're going with McCoy in that situation.
Well, Dusty was like a 700-pound squat and deadlift guy in high school.
Yeah, he just insanely strong. But I think the interior, I think those three guys and Jordan Phillips, honorable mention. But
Yeah.
maybe Jordan Phillips is the answer at head up nose.
Yeah.
And maybe,
Yeah.
how about this? How about this? Jordan Phillips at head up nose, Tommy and Gerald at three technique, and we play Dusty on the edge
Okay.
with Dan Cody. You just get all the crazy on one defensive line. Come on.
I'll tell you what's uh, that's kind of a sleeper pick is Jimmy Wilkerson.
Yeah.
Jimmy played option quarterback in high school, then came in and played linebacker, started off as Mike linebacker, and he just continued to grow and get bigger and bigger. Then he moved to defensive end, and I think he had like an 8 or 9 sack junior year and left early and went to the NFL. Played a long time in the NFL, played three technique in the NFL. Gabe, he was like 300 plus pounds, and he was the number 5 gunner on kickoff coverage in the NFL, and a was terrorizing kickoff return teams in the NFL. He was just a brutal, brutal block. Really fast, really good athlete, and you could play him obviously at all spots across the front. Good player. Long, really long arms. Awesome player.
Man, I feel like the interior is much easier decision than the edge guys. Now, Dan Cody is definitely a lock.
Oh, yes.
But that fourth or fifth guy, whether we're in traditional four down defense or we've jumped into bear in this hypothetical, I think that it is. Yeah, I think that who's the other edge guy, man? Dan Cody and who? Wilkerson?
If I'm trying
Ronnie
to play it,
Perkins?
see,
I
Ronnie Perkins is
he had some
he was
good
a
twitch, man.
beast.
I feel like Ronnie was a more consistent player than Obo for more of his career. Like the light turned on for Obo late in his career,
Mm-hmm.
and he became a problem.
And he was kind of a specialist to a point, like a pass rush specialist. Like Ronnie Perkins plays straight up defensive end and like a grown ass man.
Yeah.
So
Frank Alexander was really good. Just had some off the field stuff.
yeah,
If you
at
talk
some
about an
point,
intimidating guy, Frank was so big and long. It just, God, it was just hard to get your hands on him because his arms were so long. That's why, go back. That's why he was a fourth round pick.
yeah, yep. At some point, we need to put together like the most intimidating defense and group to the like I don't know the all
The
measurables
all
list
off the bus team.
off the bus team. Yeah.
Okay, give me who's the second edge guy? You got to make a final decision.
Okay, second edge guy.
So you've got Dan Cody,
I've
Tommy
got
Harris, Gerald McCoy, Dvorak, and or Phillips.
um I will go with oh man.
I think
I'm
you've
gonna
talked me into Ronnie Perkins.
yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna go.
Okay.
You get some good versatility there. It's a good
I'm
group.
I'm sure this will not be I'm sure no one will disagree with us.
Yeah, I mean we're only forgetting or leaving out like 15 people. I
Perfect.
mean
Uh, now we move on to the O line. Because remember, the question was O line and D line. So I think there are
and we didn't even get
three.
like a Jeremy Beal mention in there. I mean, that dude was
He was so good.
incredible.
He's one of those guys you see him and you're like, okay. And then you see him play football and you're like, my goodness.
I think the two weren't the two. Was it him and Austin English that played?
Austin
Austin,
English before the injuries. Oh, that's a good one too. He was
I
a
know.
bad dude before the injuries started piling up.
Yep.
That's a good one. Dang it. So many choices.
There's a lot of choices.
It actually
Yes.
makes it more fun that it's not super obvious with the edge guys. It makes it a
I
more
know.
fun discussion. O-line. Couple of just no-brainers. Remember, this is only since 2000.
Right.
Trent Williams,
Mm-hmm.
Creed Humphrey,
Yes.
Jamal Brown.
Yes.
This is where the conversation gets interesting because Lane Johnson is currently, in my opinion, the best tackle in all of football. He's a right tackle, but Lane Johnson was not what he is now when we were in college.
Right.
And the reason I know that is we came in together. We were the same recruiting class. We were in Kevin Wilson's tight end room together. And it took Lane a long time to find his home at an offensive tackle. Despite me pestering him over and over and over and over and over again once I made the switch to come join me.
He only did he just play 1 year?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was the fourth pick of the draft. That's how talented he is.
Yeah, he went and ran like a 4.7 or something.
Yeah.
Like 320 pounds.
So I think Creed, and not to disrespect any of the legends, I think Creed is the best center to ever play at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you got to have him, but maybe I put him at guard because Chris Chester is one of my favorite OU players ever.
You run that outside zone in your offense, aren't you?
That's why I was thinking when I was thinking about the guard position, Davin Joseph. I've heard so many stories about Davin Joseph from the guys that played with him, where he was just, I mean, he was the guy you did not mess with. He was that dude.
Well, not to, yeah, he had that mentality. Was like a national champion wrestler, incredibly strong, and I built specifically to play guard. I mean, the perfect build to play guard. Just incredible.
So I feel like it would be disrespectful if I didn't have Davin Joseph on my list.
Absolutely.
However, tell me, I may be crazy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. I'm like in the Shanahan style of offense. I'm in outside zone, move the pocket, play action, boot game. Like that's what I would run if it was up to me. Trent Williams is gonna be my left tackle. Creed Humphrey is gonna be my left guard. Chris Chester is gonna be my center. And this is where things get weird. Jamal Brown, you were one of the best just pure right tackles we've ever seen in college football. And remember, this was before right tackle was as big of a deal as it is now. Right tackle was viewed lesser than when Jamal was playing. And he was still a first round pick. That's how good he was. Come on inside and play guard for me, Jamal. You've got the athleticism. He's got the toughness. And then give me Lane Johnson at right tackle.
I was thinking.
I really hope Davin Joseph doesn't get mad at me.
Well, I was thinking, like, if I was going to move someone to guard, did Trent start as a guard?
Trent started as a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Or was that that was Jamal Brown that started as a defensive lineman.
Definitely did, yeah.
Yeah. I think if you want to put Lane at left tackle, if you want to put Lane Johnson and Trent Williams next to each other, there is no doubt in my mind that if Trent would have played guard, he would have been a first round pick, and right now he'd be the best guard in the NFL. He's that talented. He's that good.
Yeah. See, because that's what I was thinking is like, I would probably go, I'd keep Creed at center and go.
Too many snap issues.
What's that?
I said too many snap issues. I've talked to him about it. Just, hey, the Chiefs are going to give you a boatload of money if you could just snap the ball, dude. I'm joking, Creed.
I think I'd go Creed, center, Davin at right guard, Jamal at right tackle, and then I'd go Trent at left guard, and Lane at left tackle, which he plays right too, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he can play
Jamal
left.
played left in the NFL, right? Correct
He
or no? He
I think
played
he was
right.
always a right tackle.
Oh, okay.
Or I. It's been a long time, man. I don't. I think he played right tackle for New Orleans.
You, you're probably you. I will take your word for it.
I do not know. I do not remember. How about that?
Mm.
Orlando Brown, no mention. He was really really good, but it's Trent Williams and Lane and
They're all pros. I mean,
Jamal Brown. Like I,
sorry. He's my. I will definitely go extra tackle in the game, and Trent's my move guy if we want to put Orlando in.
I think you have. I think you've talked me into moving Trent into guard. Lane at left tackle, Trent at left guard, which just he's going to be a Hall of Fame left tackle. No, I'm not doing that. Never mind. Trent at left tackle.
Would you read? He's okay. You're going to have to leave one of them on the bench then.
I love Chris Chester too much to put him on the bench.
Okay.
And I'm running outside zone, man. We're flying off the football. He was a first rounder. I've heard so many stories about how scary of a guy he was, like when he needed to be. But I think Davin Joseph's my odd man out. Just with the system I want to run. I'm sorry, Davin.
Fair enough.
Williams, Humphrey, Chester, Brown, Lane Johnson. Davin Joseph and Stalker McDougal coming off the bench. Because Stalker McDougal, he was the 2000 draft though, so I'm not sure if he counts here or not.
I was with him 1 year in Detroit. He's first rounder to Detroit. I I think he got hurt. I think he had a knee, but he was huge and he could move. Really good athlete.
That was really fun. Great question, Chris Peterson. We've got some other great questions.
Who
But
wins the battle?
first, what?
Hang on. Who wins the battle between that O line and that D line we put together?
O line, come on. Well, in all seriousness, it's a great question. So, Trent Williams is going to be a Hall of Famer. Lane Johnson's going to be a Hall of Famer. I would say Creed is on a Hall of Fame type trajectory. No other Hall of Famers on the list. Defensive line wise, Gerald, possible Hall of Famer. Got a good chance.
It's way harder to make the Hall of Fame at defensive line.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't think I think, and maybe I'm factoring in their NFL careers too much. I think that's only natural though. But I think, I mean, you've got three guys. Trent's been one of the best tackles in the NFL for years and years now.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing can be said for Lane. And I think Creed is the best center in the NFL now. I think at one point you could say Gerald was one of, if not the best defensive tackle in the league there for a stretch. I don't think you can say that about any of the other guys on the defensive line.
No,
but if it was just college, you may take the D line because Lane was not what he is now when he was in college.
Right.
So it's
if I'm getting all of my guys at their peak health, youth, everything, like I'll take that defensive line all day long. I'll ride that ship to the bottom of the ocean.
I'm shocked. I'll take the defense. No way. Oh, that was what a fun conversation.
That was good.
We got some other great questions. But first, Love's Travel Stops is now offering a nationwide 10-cent per gallon discount on gas and auto diesel. Just download the Love's Connect app and scan your barcode at the prompt on screen and watch that price drop 10 cents per gallon. Across the country, the Love's Connect app unlocks exclusive deals and can help any traveler plan their route or meal on the highway. So before you hit the road, be sure to download the Loves Connect app to save 10 cents per gallon and experience the country's best highway hospitality at Love's Travel Stops. Love's also has you covered if you forget your phone charger or headphones with their expanded mobile to go zone. And of course, don't forget to grab yourself some of that delicious Java Amore.
And celebrate with a Schooner All American Ale, the official craft beer of OU Athletics from Coop Ale Works. Named after the iconic Sooner schooner that races across Owen Field after an OU score, you can join in on the celebration with an ice cold beer from Coop Ale Works. You can enjoy it at the Palace on the Prairie, at OU Athletic events, at the bar, at the tailgate, and in the comfort of your own home. For more information on Schooner All American Ale, visit schoonerale.com. Must be 21 to purchase. Please drink responsibly. Schooner All American Ale, the taste of game day.
And we love Simple Modern. Simple Modern is an Oklahoma owned drinkware company and number one drinkware sales leader at Amazon and Target. This summer, Simple Modern launched its Summer Shop, where they drop new and unique drinkware options every other Tuesday all summer long. Now you can get your own limited edition version of their extremely popular 40-ounce Treks in designs you won't see anywhere else. And even better, Simple Modern exists to give generously, donating 10% of all profits, so you can know you're helping better Oklahoma and beyond with every purchase. Check out the Summer Shop and all their amazing products at simplemodern.com. This next question, it comes from Charles Workman. What is y'all's all-time favorite cheat meal?
It's easy for me. If I don't like, I love steak. I don't consider that a cheat meal though.
Neither do I.
Um, for me, it's just straight up spaghetti. I could pretty much eat my weight in spaghetti.
Okay. So I think we're going to go down a similar path here because I would say you and I we we try to eat pretty healthy. We try to keep the carbs limited, right? I think that's the best way to describe how you and I eat. A lot of meat, a lot of vegetables, no salad for you, some salad for me. You've never met a person that is more anti-salad than Ted Lehman. I mean, he won't even look at it. Not only he won't eat, he definitely won't eat it, but he doesn't want to even see it.
I don't. I've got a whole complaint about it. All it does is carry E. coli bacteria. It's a waste of resources. No nutritional benefit. It's crap.
I the first time you gave me that lecture, I was like, I know he's right, but it's a good vessel for me to eat like bacon and eggs and ranch dressing. Okay,
That's
and
okay.
there's some
That's great.
tomatoes on there. It's good for me. I
Now,
think.
I will from time to time have what I would call more of a ranch soup than I would a salad. If you could smother it in ranch, then I'll partake.
But I think going down like the heavy carb route is that kind of what you view as a cheat meal? Because that's kind of how
Yep.
I see it.
Yep.
So you're just spaghetti, like red sauce,
Meat
meatballs.
sauce. Meat sauce loaded up, and I prefer angel hair over traditional spaghetti.
Same. Give me the
Load me
thin
up
stuff.
all day long. Now, I I and I really don't consider this a cheat meal either, but my next up would be fried chicken.
Ooh, that's a really good call.
Mm-hmm.
I I think if I think I'm gonna kind of fuse your two. I don't eat it that often. Chicken parm, man. I don't know if that's considered a cheat meal, but the sides is what makes it a cheat meal for me. I want the chicken parm. I want that thing cheesy. Smother that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Side of fettuccine alfredo, which I know Alfredo's like really isn't a. I think that's an American thing. I don't think it's actually an Italian thing. You could go cacio e pepe on the side or however you say it, whatever. But a big, huge helping of chicken parm and then a massive thing of, in an ideal world, like an angel hair fettuccine, and then just an entire basket of whatever house bread they've got. And
Are
I'm
you
just
describing the tour of Italy from Olive Garden?
I whatever you want.
Isn't that what that is? Chicken parm,
I love,
fettuccine.
dude. Chicken parm is so good. It's so good. I think that would be top of the list because we don't go eat Italian food a ton, and I love it.
I do too.
I absolutely love it. I also, there's just sometimes you got to play the hits, man. And I do this more often than I should. I would probably have abs if it wasn't for pizza and wings.
Yeah,
I will go about once a month. I will go, and there's multiple establishments here in Oklahoma City that you can accomplish this task. I eat a full pizza and a full thing of like 12 wings.
dang.
Ranch, just bring a boat of ranch with it. I want just an absurd amount of Parmesan, fresh Parmesan on the pizza. Just load it up and go to town. Full pizza, 12 wings, and just feel terrible afterwards about myself, but I don't care.
I agree. That's like one of the most under. If you can put like a nice layer of fresh Parmesan on a piece of pizza, it takes it to the next level.
No doubt.
Gives you the texture, gives you everything.
So you went spaghetti with meat sauce, and then I'm assuming you're just eating a whole fried chicken because
Oh
that's how
yeah,
you roll. Oh,
yep.
Ishins, Chicken Shack.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yes, I do.
Fried chicken is it obviously my second favorite. I've never had Ishins.
Dude, what?
I know, isn't that it's crazy. I don't know
Okay.
how it's happened that way.
We're going.
We need to.
Now, everything I invite you to, you say no, but you're going to say yes to this. You're going to say yes to this one, Lehman. I'm going to get your wife involved. That's what I'm
I
going to do. I'm going
I
to get my
really
wife
need.
to invite your wife.
How does Ishins not have a satellite location that's within range for me?
If it ain't broke, man, don't fix it.
I guess that's
That's
true.
again,
That's
that's
true.
against their core values out there in Okarchi.
I like that. I like that. Keep it simple.
All right, let's get to the next question. Now I just want a giant pizza. Oh boy, not good. Actually, it's fine. You can work it off. You can work it off. It'll be fine. This one comes from Jonathan Grant. Why are Teddy's top three all-time Sooners all offensive players?
That's a good question. That's a good question. It's more of like it's like a fun to watch thing, I guess. And it's like it's a fun to watch thing. It's a personality thing. I don't know. Are defensive guys all assholes? Is that why? I don't know.
I it could be that.
I don't know.
First of all, you need to recap the list of your favorite Sooners.
All-time Sooners list: Joe Washington, Blake Bell, Drake Stoops.
Three very different football players.
Three very different football
Three
players.
very different personalities as well, since we know
Three
all
di-
three of them.
three different personalities, but I but the easiest three to root for ever when you're watching them play football.
Joe Washington's an interesting one for you. Was
Yeah.
he was he like a massive influence for you when you were a kid, or like was it
No,
because you got to know him later?
got to know him later. Didn't know anything about Joe Washington at all before I went to OU. And then there was the there was a picture of him in the hallway hurdling that player. I can't remember if it was a guy from Missouri or
I know exactly what picture you're talking about, though.
yeah. So that was in there, and then I just kind of heard stories. People used to always talk about him. Then I saw some like highlights and stuff. Then I met him, played golf with him a bunch. I just love that dude. He's awesome. And
He,
he's the one player that I always say, like, if I could pluck this guy out of his era and put him in like this era of spread offenses, that's who I'd want to see. He's like Reggie Bush, before Reggie Bush.
that's not a bad comparison. I don't think it's just natural with time. I'm not sure, and maybe it's our job to educate some of these younger Sooner fans. His highlight reel is
Crazy dude.
like it's almost unbelievable.
Yeah,
You're almost like, hey, was the defense in on this? Like they
yeah,
really couldn't touch the guy. It's a joke, man. It is so ridiculous. Like his best plays at OU are absurd.
yes. And the other thing is he it's hard like everything in in college football to a large degree has been like so sterilized with how like the offenses run and operate. Like he had such a style to the way that he ran the football, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, it's really cool to watch. You could see it on film that he's got like a different movement pattern than anyone else on the field.
So if Drake Stoops is on your list now, that means someone got bumped off.
I don't think I developed it until Drake Stoops. That's
Okay,
whenever I developed it.
so he was your inspiration to develop the top three list.
I think it was like I'm not comfortable saying he's my favorite Sooner, so I need to put a cast around him. I think it was one of those things. So it's like instead of just saying he's my favorite, let me do a top three.
You could have gone top five, man. Top
Could
three.
have gone
You've
top five.
really,
Why stop at five?
yeah, you've really made it tough on yourself.
I
I
know.
love that Blake's in your top three, though. He's in my
But
top three.
okay, someone find a way to shoot that down to have him not as an all-time favorite Sooner.
I He's one of my best friends. I'm not going to be the one to shoot it down.
The best dude you could ever meet. Um, I mean, no big deal. Just play tight end, and then oh yeah, come in and save our ass from behind at quarterback, and run the
We have
belldozer. It's just crazy.
that him coming in against Oklahoma State. That was my senior year. That game meant so much to me. One thing about that game, there's a picture of him and I after it. I look so fat. I mean, I love the picture. I have it framed. It's such a good picture. But every time I look at it, I also don't have a beard, which
Doesn't
I
even look like
always
you.
have a beard. What was I doing? It was freezing. Why do I not have a beard? I've got like no facial hair and I look enormous. And you have never seen two guys walking off a football field look happier together. Like it is one of my all-time favorite pictures, except for the fact it may be the worst picture of me ever. Like I look so terrible. It's a great
That's so
photo though.
funny. It's funny to think about like every picture of you playing. Like whenever I have pictures of me playing, I weigh the exact same as I did then. It's like body size. I haven't changed at all, and you've lost like 60 pounds or more.
Yeah.
So that is funny to think about that. Whenever it's like you're not looking at yourself. It's like a weird dynamic there. It's
It's like
interesting.
me with someone took an air pump and went, oh, it's funny. Oh, hey, we got some more good questions. You guys
Well,
said
hang
some
on though.
great. Oh,
At some point, you're going to have to develop your all-time three favorite Sooner list.
okay. How about
You
this?
don't have to do it here.
Next
Okay.
Q&A episode, I'll have it. That's going to take some thought.
Okay.
I can tell you one right off the top of my head. And it's because this is when I started falling in love with OU football and kind of started falling in love with football in general. Trent Smith is on my list.
There
Undoubtedly.
you go.
undoubtedly. So I will get to the other two names. It's kind of hard to like. Do you pick guys that you played with? I don't know, or is it like more from a fan perspective? Because I was an OU fan my entire life, so
Yeah.
I've got lots of thoughts. And
Trent
just so you
is,
know, you're going to be in consideration there, pal. I was a
yeah,
big
right.
layman guy, big layman guy.
Oh yeah, just spewing personality all over the place. Really fun to follow.
That was before athlete interviews like in social media. So I thought you were just the baddest dude and like you were just probably talkative and constantly talking trash. I didn't know that you despised the media and refused to speak to people. How was I supposed to know that? I was a kid.
That's true. That's true. The elusive interview.
All right,
Oh my gosh.
we've got some other great questions, but first, he's gonna
All
find
you
it.
grill masters, listen up. Didier Ranch delivers premium quality beef that is 100% raised in Oklahoma right to your front door. Go to didierranch.com, DIDIER ranch.com to order one of their premium quality beef boxes and use promo code Oklahoma15 for 15% off your order. Filet, ribeye, New York strips, sirloin, steak burgers, they've got it all and they ship anywhere in the continental US and Oklahomans can get deliveries in just 1 to 2 days. The only thing better than having a lot of premium beef on the O and D line is having premium beef delivered right to your front door. Didier Ranch, tradition tastes better.
And head to the garage for hand smashed patties, butter toasted buns, and some ice cold beer. It's the perfect spot to watch any big game. And with all the garage locations being open to 10 p.m. or later every night, it is the go to late night spot. Bison Burger's incredible, people. Make sure you get it. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you and order online from the garage in your neighborhood.
Attention business owners, you need Insurica in your life. Insurica is one of the country's largest insurance brokers with 30 offices throughout Oklahoma, Texas, and the Southwest. Insurica is able to customize programs by accessing the latest information from many insurance carriers. They compare and contrast coverage offerings and pricing in order to design a cost-effective, comprehensive program to meet your business's specific needs. If your business partners with Insurica, you'll save huge amounts of money and take back control of your total cost of risk. If your business wants to be best in class, connect with Insurica at insurica.com. That's INSURICA.com.
Next question comes from at SJ Collier 11. He says, I would like to hear each of your retirement stories. What led to the final decision? Was it difficult? Why did you do it when you did?
I I don't have much of a story. This is the funny thing about the NFL. I think most fans envision like everyone in the NFL's life is like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. You know, you play until I think I'm done. I'll think I'll hang it up. Well, no, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll come back and play one more year. Well, no, I'll hang it up. I've got a great job at, you know, in the booth or doing the Manning cast.
I've got
It's really
options.
right. Uh, that's really not how 99.9% of NFL careers end. Most of them end whenever you just kind of stop getting calls or you don't have really any opportunities or injuries have sidelined you. Um, so kind of for me, it was just kind of ran out of opportunities. You as a once you're vested and you're a vet, you just get priced out. They'd rather keep a younger guy on that makes less, that isn't vested in their benefits. The last person that has you on their roster picks up your benefits for life. So it's like you become a hot potato at some point, and it's gotten better, I think, for veteran players with some of the stuff that they've done in the league, but it gets difficult. For me, just the body wasn't there anymore and ran out of opportunities, and kind of like there becomes a point where you just kind of see the writing on the wall, and it's not that you just fully out retire. You just kind of make the decision to, you know, to file the paperwork, I guess, so to speak, you know?
I your yours was an interesting case, right? Because you were in the NFL and then you played in other leagues. Like that
Yeah.
was an option for you.
Yeah. I played in the UFL, which it's the best decision. Like the only reason I didn't retire sooner is because I played in the UFL and absolutely loved it. It was the greatest thing, because the NFL, I had a very, very bad, I didn't like the NFL. I didn't have a good experience. Um, I
That makes two of us, brother.
Yeah, well, I hated the game. I didn't like playing. I didn't like going to practice. I didn't like going every day. Um, I just I'm like a I'm kind of a foxhole guy. That's why I liked college football. It's like I really don't care a whole lot about anything other than like going through the grind, going through really difficult things together with a team. And I college is perfect for that. And then you go to the NFL and it's kind of like you're a mercenary. It's every man for himself. You know, unless you're on really good teams where you got a chance to go win the Super Bowl, and you kind of know if you're going to have a team like that or not before the season ever starts, right? And if you're not, it's like everyone is just fighting and scrapping for survival. So to be able to go play in that other league, like I I keep in con. I have so many friends from that UFL team. We all keep in contact, see each other. It was awesome. I needed that for me just to kind of fall in love with the game again. So yeah, it was different.
Mine is wow, where do I start? I I just had a very stressful career living at the bottom of rosters.
Mm-hmm.
Uh so it kind of started with going undrafted. That was it, the stress just starts there. Like you're just treated differently when you're an undrafted guy and you can feel it. And blew my knee out my rookie year, which didn't help. And I'm not sure I was ever the same after that. But I guess the best way to start the retirement story is I had a really stressful 2015. I was in four different spots. And then I think the seed for like, hey, maybe it's time to consider being done with this was planted late in 2016. I was on the Browns roster, active roster, wasn't playing, but was on the Browns active roster. And Ted, do you remember what Tuesday was in the NFL?
Uh, well, yeah, it was. Well, it was a lot of things. One of them was watch everyone work out at your position and try and replace you day.
Yeah. Also commonly known as cut day.
Yeah.
To say I was on edge on Tuesdays would be the understatement of the century with how many times I'd been released up to that point. So,
Which is crazy. Like, just like there's like a trickle effect. You can have an injury at a totally different position, and like roster numbers and stuff, like everything can affect you at that point, right? I mean, just to point that out, it's like something totally outside of your control could take place, and they have to make roster moves.
I mean, going back to and I told this story before on here, the Buffalo story. I thought I was going to be a starting blocking tight end on Monday, and instead I was cut because one of the running backs had a sore hamstring, and and then got claimed and never made it back.
Yeah.
It was
Crazy.
devastating for me. But the retirement seed, I think, was planted late in 2016. And I'm not sure if I've ever even told my wife this story. I overheard her talking to her mom, my now mother in law, about how she likes to just leave me alone on Tuesdays. And so that was at that point, I realized the stress was affecting the type of person I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that. Like I was constantly stressed out, got on Zoloft. Like it was just, it took a toll on me mentally.
Yeah.
Physically, I felt good, but training camp 2016 or 2017, Cleveland, going to training camp as I mean, I was the when we went jumbo package, I was like the sixth offensive lineman through OTAs. Like I had a spot on that team, or I felt like I had a spot on that team, and had a bad concussion in training camp, missed some time. Uh, was able to talk to the head coach Hugh Jackson at that time. When I was coming back to practice, he was like, "Can't wait to see you get out there, see what you can do. We need you." And then less than 12 hours after that talk, they cut me. And that was kind of just the moment where it's like, hey, man, maybe this just isn't for me. And that's when I started doing radio. Started doing radio as I waited for a call, was still working out, started doing the TV stuff for OU, started to really enjoy it. And out of nowhere, the Broncos called, get to Denver. We want to sign you. And I thought I was done. I just cried.
Mm-hmm.
Just sat there and cried. My wife was like, what is wrong? And I had fun in Denver. We lost like every game I was there. Got cut
Who was the
during
head
the
coach there at the time?
Vance Joseph.
Okay.
Got cut on a Tuesday during the middle of doing my radio show. I would go to a radio station in Denver, and they were extremely kind to let me use their studio during a commercial break. Got a call, got cut, said, I'm gonna finish the show, I'll be in. Went and worked out for the Bengals. And that may be the most frustrating thing of my entire career. Where I just kind of snapped. It was, you have your medical check before you go through the workout, right? And this doctor made it sound like my right knee was going to fall off my body. My right knee felt great. So I'm feeling like I'm getting medically red flagged before I even go into the workout. I crushed the workout. It's like 5 minutes into it. And their offensive line coach is like, how are you not on a team? I was like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Just hadn't worked out. And they pull me out of the group. Like everyone works out. And when you get pulled out first, normally you're the guy that's getting signed. That's normally how it works in that process after a workout like that. They pull me out, and one of their directors of player personnel says, hey, you were by far the best guy, but we're not signing you. And I just lost it, man. I was like, this is why y'all are terrible. Like I was just at my breaking point. So I was flying home from that, pissed off. They gave me a check for like $21. I ripped it up. I was like, I'm not taking your money, Cincinnati. I was flying home, and I was connecting in Chicago from that Cincinnati workout. And when I landed in Chicago, my phone just was blowing up. My agents text me, do not get on the plane to Oklahoma City. You're going to New Orleans. During the flight, the Saints had told my agent they would have signed me. So I've got a check bag because my mentality going to the workout with Cincinnati was, hey, you're going to stay for a while. I had a check bag. I asked them if I could get my check bag. They said no, because now I was going from Chicago to New Orleans. So my bag goes to Oklahoma City. I go to New Orleans with the clothes on my back. I've got nothing else. I've got like my toiletries and stuff in a backpack. And my wife drives the next day, brings my clothes, meets me in New Orleans. And that was the last time. But like at that point, dude, I was just beat down mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And I they sent the Saints once we my last game was that the Minneapolis Miracle, the Stephon Diggs play. I I wish I would have gone to New Orleans first.
Yeah.
I was great for the system. I really enjoyed Sean Payton. It played to my strengths. They liked me
Well, here's the
as a
other thing.
player, and it just they
And
signed
a
me to a 2-year deal, and I called Mickey Loomis and said, "Hey man, I'm done. I'm done."
well,
I felt like
it's
a quitter. I won't lie, but because I had
well,
more football left in me, but it was taking the reward was not worth the risk at that point with how the stress was affecting me, if that
well,
makes
and
sense.
and it's so hard. It's not like it's not like you I don't know, for most other occupations, when you're out of work, you you wait until you find a place that has an opening, you go. But in football, it requires year-round work to stay ready. And in your case, like inflated body size for of 60 pounds constantly to stay in the size range to
I
be able to play. I
It's
You
funny
can't just like you don't just like go back to a normal life and then like you have to stay ready.
I I had I had started losing a little weight. And so when I ended up in Denver, my first weigh in there, I put a 10-pound plate in my shorts and just held it and didn't say it like and I did the same thing in New Orleans. I was probably 280 playing scout team O line for them. And I was weighing in and like I would just put wait to like I was completely checked out. Like I was still blocking guys. I was still having fun for the most part. Would have been cool if we would have not lost that game and gone to the NFC Championship game and possibly gone to a Super Bowl. But it was, I just, I never got the break that some guys get. There was never a
Yeah.
situation where the starting center went down and I got to actually go out there and play. So it was 4 years of constant stress and just never getting to feel the feeling of going out there and playing at all.
Yeah.
I played, I have it. I may be the other than like quarterbacks, like a third string quarterback. It is very rare. I have 4 credited seasons. I'm fully vested in the NFL pension, all that stuff. I played 0 offensive snaps in my NFL career in a regular season game. Not not one. Not one where a guy's shoelace broke, guy goes down with an ankle, guy dislocates a finger. Not I didn't play a single offensive snap.
That's
And
crazy.
when you do all that work, and it was a lot of work for me to stay like you do
It's a
all
lot.
that work and you get cut that many times to never get to feel like the reward.
Yeah.
Dude, it was just it took a toll on me. It
Yeah.
just did.
Well, the other thing is like whenever you said when you went to New Orleans, you wish you would have gone there sooner. The dynamic on a football team that has like a top quarterback and you have a chance to like compete and go to the playoffs and you could be one of the better teams. Like the dynamic on those teams is totally different than it is on the others. I there's like the rosters are managed totally different. It's not about like other rosters, the turnover is incredible. Like you look at, I don't know what the percentage is of a roster turnover year by year for teams that don't make the playoffs, but it is incredibly high. They're firing their coaches constantly. They're bringing in new personnel people. It's like just a revolving door. You go to somewhere that has had success and has an elite level quarterback, guys play for like accessory guys play for a long time. The roster is totally different.
That's what made how things went down in Buffalo for me. Like that's what made it so painful. I loved being there. I loved Rex Ryan. I loved Greg Roman. I loved Aaron Cromer, who was the O line coach. He's the only one that's in for me. He's the only one that's in the same class as Bill Bedenbaugh when it comes to the best O line coaches I ever had. And I got the break. Go to the tight end room Monday. You're going to be the starting wide tight end. You're going to be the blocking tight end. And then 2 hours later, I was, I mean, they cut me. That's what makes, and I know I've told that story on here before, but that feels like the defining moment of my career. Or it just kind of, it's the perfect microcosm of how my NFL career went. It was just like, you're right there and you just never materialized. Like just never got like I feel like especially as an undrafted guy, bottom of the roster guy, you got to have a little luck.
Yeah.
And I never had any luck. And I needed some luck.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see
And I should have
situations
just
like that.
been better at football. That would have helped. Like I was never strong enough. And that it was that's a whole nother discussion, but it's like it wasn't from a lack of effort. I could tell you that. But it was like I just wasn't I didn't have the build of like an NFL interior offensive lineman. Like I was able to get away with it in college because I played really hard and I was a good athlete. But in the NFL, like strength is, you don't have the strength, then it can, you know, stuff's hard.
There's some large individuals playing on the interior in the NFL for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, that's enough of me whining. Let's get to our last question. People are like, God, that was depressing. You never know what you're going to get on these Q&A episodes. Oh,
That's right.
man. But first, fellas, Father's Day is coming up on June 16th, and our friends at Manscaped have some excellent gift options for you to get your dad. Head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code OKBreakdown. My dad's got a beard, bearded man, had a beard my entire life. He needs an upgrade with the trimmer. He's had that thing forever. So I got him the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. It's the complete beard maintenance kit for all the bearded dads out there. This all-in-one kit comes with a beard hedger, that's Manscaped's most advanced beard trimmer, as well as shampoo, conditioner, oil, and balm for his beard. It also comes with a brush, comb, and scissors so we can style that beard and mustache. This thing's fancy, guys. It's really fancy. Now, maybe your dad isn't blessed with a luxurious beard. Maybe you're like Ted, just refuses to grow one. Well, you can get yourself or your dad some of the Boxers 2.0. They were designed with a simple mission to make the most comfortable boxers using perforated performance fabric for extra breathability. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code OKBreakdown at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code OKBreakdown. Happy Father's Day from Manscaped.
And head to opolisclothing.com for our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's OPOLIS clothing.com. Use promo code TED, TED, for 10% off. That's opolisclothing.com. Use promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off.
Last question comes from Aaron Montgomery. It's an interesting one. Would you support Crimson Lines on the 47-yard line to commemorate the 47-game win streak, permanent or otherwise?
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone suggest this. This is a first, so this is very interesting.
Yeah, I've never heard that either. Of course I would support that. Is it allowed?
Tremendous question. I don't know, but you know one thing you could do? You know how LSU has every 5?
Yes.
Maybe you just put, like at the 47-yard line, you just put a 47. Like smaller. I don't think that would be just as distracting as a giant red line across the field. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think you wouldn't have to do the red line across the field. You would just the crimson, like the hash, and then the little marker on the sideline. I don't think
Oh,
you'd
the
have to.
hash would be good.
Yeah, I don't think you
Would
have to stripe it all the way across. You just make the hash on the 47, the two hash marks, and then the side on the sidelines. Make those red or crimson.
I like that. So just all so you'd have right hash, left hash on both 47s, just kind of
Yep.
outlined in crimson.
Yep.
I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
Or
Good reminder.
just make them mark crimson.
Oh, you want to make the mark crimson?
Yeah, just
I
the
was
yard marker.
I was thinking like a for the hash on the 40s, like an outline or something like that. I don't
Outline
know.
that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I
just a
don't
little 47. I don't know. I
I
don't
would
think it's a bad idea at all, though.
I would definitely support it. My only question is can you like what are you available what can you do to the playing surface? Because I know like all the things that we wouldn't think are a big deal are a big deal. So like that would be my only question. If not, absolutely, that's what I say we do it. It's a hell of an idea.
I I think it's a great idea. Permanent, sure. I think that this is something that's interesting about the move to the SEC. And I'm not saying that the Big 12 schools didn't care as much, but I do feel like the SEC, when you think about the SEC in football, like am I crazy? Does it just feel like there's more tradition with these programs as compared to a lot of the Big 12 schools and like they embrace that tradition more? Maybe I'm just, we haven't
Well,
experienced it yet. Maybe I'm reaching a little bit, but do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I think it's maybe just a case of the fan bases are bigger, more notable, and the teams have won more. So you kind of like you just know the traditions more because I mean, you win more, you have more people show up, it becomes a bigger deal. So, but to your point, yes, absolutely, way more well known, and I think, I mean, that's going to be one of the cool things is kind of learning every team's different thing that they do, because everyone's got a handful of things. So I think that's also going to be something for us that we'll grab some stuff to really I don't know, showcase our program. I think it's cool. Like, we know about the play like a champion sign, but it's cool that like that's going on the video game and stuff like that. You know, that
They
people
had
know where
they
that
had Notre
actually
Dame.
originated.
Well, they had Notre Dame hitting it, hitting their play like a champion sign, play like a champion today sign in the trailer for the game. And I know OU fans were so pissed because I know I went it's like one of the first things too. And I was like, they stole that from us. That was my initial reaction. And I was just I love how every OU fan knows to tell every other college football fan, oh, by the way, that was our thing. They stole it from us.
That's like I need to make like a mental note if I ever do, like especially with the like the SEC stuff coming, like if I ever do interviews with other places, like that needs to be like the sign off.
Play
Hey,
like a
appreciate
champion
you
today.
guys. Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me on. And remember, Notre Dame stole play like a champion from Oklahoma. That's the sign off.
I is
Spread the word.
It's our obligation to let all of the SEC fan bases know in
And they
this
can
first
help
year.
point the finger and ridicule Notre Dame. They'll help with
Yeah.
that, I think.
Yeah. We're all in the same club now.
Get your
We're
own
enemies.
damn sign.
You stole it. You stole it. You're a thief. It's not a bad idea though, Aaron Montgomery. I like that
No,
one. I
I
think
like
people
that.
would get on board. I
Mm-hmm.
think out of all the historical things for Oklahoma football, other than the national titles, the 47 game win streak is number 2 on the list. Maybe it's number 1 on the list. I don't know. But like when you talk about significant things in OU history, that win streak is way, way up there.
Yeah.
Now, obviously,
And
some titles come with the win streak, which
and
goes together.
especially the way the format has changed. I mean, Georgia gave us a little bit of a scare, right? It's, you know, they lost that one game to Bama, or they'd still be running it, and who knows? But I think it's going to be safe for a while.
I'm with you. Great idea, man. Great idea, Aaron
It's good.
Montgomery. These are always so much fun. You never know what you're going to get.
No, you don't.
On that
Well, you know
note,
you're going to get something good.
yeah, on that note, episode 428 in the books. Well, I have a new podcast that'll drop on Sunday. Our guy, Dusty Dvorak.
Yeah.
Deep dive about the Sooners and a little winners and losers of the college football offseason with our man Double D. Got to be a lot of fun. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. Until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.